The views and opinions expressed by the host and our guests does not state or reflect Tuda personally or the Life is Good with Tuda show. Okay, welcome back everyone to Life is Good with Tuda. Let's continue our discussion with our guest. Tell them a little bit about the second.
Oh yeah, TS3 Foundation. Actually, it's a family member who started that. Renee Schultz. She started TS3 Foundation, which it focuses on the sickle cell trait, or understanding the role that sickle cell has in our lives, particularly in the African American community. My family, my dad carries the sickle cell trait. And I have several cousins and family members who have been stricken with sickle cell disease. My husband was once part of the sickle cell board here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it's a disease that we often live with and don't talk about a lot. But it is one that we should know most about. But our cousin Renee started this foundation after the tragic loss of her son, losing her son.
He was an athlete.
He was an athlete. Yeah, he was in football practice. He was a football player, great football player, Trey. And he became ill during a football practice, exerting himself. And a lot of times you think when someone is exerting themselves in practice, maybe like heat stroke, or just get overexerted, they will provide certain measures of care for you. Well, that's all good for someone who I wouldn't say quote unquote normal, but someone who doesn't possess a sickle cell trait. But Trey went into a sickle cell crisis and they didn't recognize it. And so for all of the efforts that they did to try to help him, actually didn't really help him. So nothing but a mother's love will take your got to be the hardest thing that ever happened to you, and turn that into a blessing, something that could bless others. And Renee has taken it as a personal mission to ensure that, particularly when it comes to sports and athletes, high school sports and college sports and even underage sports here, that you recognize the sickle cell trait signs, and that everyone knows their status. Now, I think when kids are born, they tell you immediately, or when you're pregnant, they'll let you know. It's one of the tests that you have to go through as a young mom or a pending mother. They'll test you, particularly in the African American community, if you have the sickle cell trait or not. And they'll let you know your status. Then sometimes you may not even find out until that time in your life. But basically, you need to know that. Because what sickle cell does is it literally changes the shape of your blood vessels, of your blood cells. So they turn into like a little sickle, so they don't carry as much oxygen as regular red blood cells.
Right.
And what happens to your body is your blood cells travel all through your body, and that oxygenates your blood and gives your body oxygen to carry on. But when you have sickle cell trait or sickle cell disease, your blood cells don't carry as much oxygen as others. So you may see people and they're very lethargic, or you may see people and they're in a sickle cell crisis and they can't catch their breath, or they can't run as fast, or they can't do certain things because their body is not as oxygenated as the rest of us are. So that's a little history on sickle cell.
No, that's great. That's great. And it helps all of us kind of understand. So you're treat someone with that trait differently
than you would just say someone who did not have sickle cell and they were just suffering heat exhaustion. So because the coaches and staff who did a wonderful job and did everything they could for Trey didn't understand what was going on, despite their best efforts, it wasn't able to pull him out of that crisis, and it ultimately resulted in him losing his life. Not their fault, but it was not able to be prevented. So one of the things that TS3 does is it goes around and it educates coaches, athletic directors, and even young people on know your status, know what a sickle cell crisis looks like, and then how to respond in the event that your teammate is suffering through a sickle cell episode as opposed to just regular exhaustion that we may see. And she has these awesome posters and has traveled the country delivering talks and things like that to colleges and high schools so that you can recognize the signs. But at this point, most people know what their statuses are.
Right.
But when Trey was coming through, a lot of people may not know. And some people didn't find out until they were in college what their statuses were.
Doesn't she sound like a healthcare advocate right there, y'all? I think so. So I didn't give her an opportunity to introduce herself and give a little bit about your background.
Oh, gosh. Oh, so my name is, obviously, I'm Charmaine Watkins. I hail from Little Rock, Arkansas. My mom and dad are Bobby and Ava Swinton, and my younger sister, Sharnacette Swinton. We are a tight-knit bunch, come from Little Rock, Arkansas. Banging if you saw it on HBO. No, I'm teasing. But came out of Little Rock Central High School in 92, graduated from the University of Notre Dame in 1996 with a degree in accounting. And so now my husband and I, we have Watkins and Associates Financial Services, where he is a financial advisor, and I do a little bit of everything.
If you want a wedding coordinator, definitely call her. Event planner, emergency crisis manager, all of the above, definitely. So, after I asked you to help me, I told my brother, I'm sorry. I knew she'd get it done, though. I knew she would get it done. I couldn't just give it to anybody. So she took it. I think on the day of our wedding, we met at your office, still going through programs and everything. And I'm telling you, Winter Wonderland.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes. So one thing I want to ask, our first episode, family dynamics.
Oh, gosh, y'all have some.
Yes. And she only has one sister, she mentioned, Sharnacette. So tell me, so that came about based on just experiencing, and you've been around the family a long
20
time.
years.
So evolved. So back when you started, everybody kind of didn't have significant others, or
I think, not really.
So you everyone was immersed, a lot with each other.
Yes.
So I think it's evolved. We all kind of grown mentally, physically, spiritually.
Very
so I think that's things we probably handled 20 years ago is totally different than now.
Yes.
So that's why I thought it was really important to discuss grace to our extended family. So I want you to share your experience initially coming. I know it's probably was a challenge I know some of you guys said, you and my other sister-in-law, that our brothers are spoiled. I'm thinking, no, they're not. They're not spoiled.
Oh my God.
And so I think it was a reality from both you guys saying how spoiled they're. I said, we just protect them. We protect them. And so I think in our mind that they weren't spoiled. And even to this day, I think we've pulled back a little bit. A little.
Just a little.
And so, and she can go rounds with even the most assertive of them. I'm one of them.
You are the mild one.
Yeah, and I tell people that.
You are the
They don't
mild
believe
one.
that.
Oh my gosh, yes you are.
I tell them I'm the mediator.
Yes.
I try to collaborate. Let's get this together.
Yes, you are.
And a lot of people just can't believe that.
No, you are. You are the
more
peacemaker. The everybody come on in.
Kumbaya. Let's
without
figure it
doubt.
out.
Oh yes, let's work it out. No,
So share your experience initially, because I know you met two of my sisters initially when you start dating my brother.
I did.
And then you kind of...
Yeah, your whole family. Oh my gosh. So my husband is number 7 of 8.
Yes.
And so I met 2 sisters. Rodney and I went on one of our first dates. We went to the fair, which is like the state fair here. Rides and corn dogs and all that good stuff. And we were just walking the midway, and he slightly introduces the fact that, oh yeah, we may run into a couple of my sisters. We may run into a couple of your sisters. It's like 8 of y'all. Like, what couple are we gonna run into? And so we ran into the oldest, yes, and the youngest.
That's a
They were
pair
two.
right
Oh my
there.
gosh! So we ran into
RL1
Chandal.
and
Yes,
RLW8.
yes. And we
Okay.
ran into Chandal and Rashonda.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Bookends.
Bookends, definitely.
Definitely. And all the personality in between. And your niece, Rakisha, and our niece, Rakisha, and our nephew, brother, who's also known as Kevin. Well, his name is Kevin, but nobody calls him that. We only call him brother.
Nicknames in the
right.
Black
And
families.
so, yeah. And matter of fact, Rashonda is the youngest, and she's right underneath Rodney. And the first thing she said was, "Ooh, you at the fair with another woman." And I thought, are you kidding me? Like, is some crazy broad gonna jump from behind or Gravitron or something? I'm gonna be running for my life in the Tulsa State Fair. Are you for real? And he was like, she's just playing. I said, no, she ain't playing. She ain't playing at all. Who these folks expect you out here with, boy? And it ain't me. I don't know these people. I'm not from Tulsa. I'm not out here with somebody's boyfriend.
And for the listeners, for her to meet those two first, I think that's really bad. I do. I really do. So
China was very gracious. I mean, in all dolls fabulousness, she just kind of looked at me. I think she was just kind of sizing me up. But I think what happened was, I think the kids is who endeared her to me, because I had like a turkey leg in my hand. So you meet your. Oh yeah, I had a turkey leg, right?
She did share that.
I had a turkey leg in my hand, and so her kids were there. And I think we had like a daiquiri or something.
She said you a keeper because you shared the turkey leg.
I did. I said, they were like, oh my gosh, you got this turkey leg? I said, yeah, but I've had all. I said, would you like it? And Rakisha's brother was like, yeah. I said, have it, baby. Y'all can have it. Are y'all having fun? And I think that probably endeared me to her. And I couldn't ask for a better big sister in life than to have Dollars, my big sister. And then, so that was the first foray into the Watkins family. And then he tricked me the very next weekend. I called Rodney. Yeah. And I was like, I called you to say, okay, hey, I'm taking some other kids to the fair. I'm not too far from your house, I think. But I didn't realize Rodney lived at home. I didn't realize he lived in the house with your whole family. I didn't know.
And everybody came out. So I think I remember that.
Drive up to this house. I drive up to this house and I'm like, is this like your parents' house? He said, oh, just come on in. I'm like, come into your parents' house? So I have like a girlfriend of mine, little girl who I took like to the Ice Capades, the Disney on Ice show. So she's like, Kristen is like knocked out sleep. So I walk in this house packing this kid on my shoulder. I'm just thinking I'm coming to say hi. I didn't realize Rodney was in a house full of people.
Yes.
So I walk in
Usually
the sliding.
A house full of people.
Yes, always a house full of people. Your mom's house at that time. And I walked in the house, and there were your brother, and at the time he was dating a young lady, and their daughter, who was 2. Raven was 2.
Yeah.
Raven was 2. Raven was like under the piano in a white onesie. Your brother looked over his shoulder like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I have no idea.
You knew him.
I met because I met Rodney and Ramon together the very first time I met your brother. I met both of them at the same time.
Okay.
And so we were sitting there, and his girlfriend was there, and I was like, hi. And actually, she was pregnant at that time too. She was getting ready to have my other niece, Rael. And so anyway, we were sitting there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm in this house with all these people. And then comes down the cavalcade. So like everybody else started coming. Yes, so Ricky came down.
Oh my gosh.
Probably deep in song, because she doesn't do anything without screaming or singing. Yeah. And then like all these people just start filing through this house, and I'm thinking, my God. I'm like, it's just 2 of us. It's me and my sister. But my dad is one of 8. So we're used to having big family stuff, so we get it. But I was just not like prepared to like introduce myself to all these people. And I'm like, we've only gone out on a couple of dates. I don't even know if I want to know all these people. I don't even know if I'm going to know you after this. But nevertheless, it works out. And so your mom came down the stairs, that little 1 step down into the den, and with this Rick James wig, braided wig on.
What did she have on?
Baby, she had this mushroom braided wig on.
Was it for real?
It was faux real.
I'm gonna have to talk to her about that.
Oh my gosh, I swear to you. And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is my mom." I'm like, "Hi, Mrs. Watkins. How are you? Nice to meet you." And so I'm sitting there with this baby on my shoulder. I'm like, "What does this woman think?" And then she was like, "Is this your kid?" I'm like, "No, ma'am. This is my real good girlfriend's daughter. We just went to the ice capades, and I just came by here, not realizing I was going to meet everybody. But thank you so much for having me in your home." And then she looked at me. She said, "Oh yeah, you look like you got about 3-4 kids in you." I was like,
that sounds like my mom.
I was like, "I don't even think I've kissed your son, but now I'm having 3 or 4 children."
Yeah, that sounds.
It was true baptism by fire. So anyway, but
I think my mom had a daycare then.
Yeah, your mother did have a daycare. Your mom had a daycare. Yeah. Your mom had a daycare, and so anyway, fast friends, and it kind of took off from there. One of the most things that I remember so much about me and your family initially was just the love, the acceptance, the inviting atmosphere, certainly towards me.
Right.
I can say that, and I was I'm a everybody kind of come on in kind of chick, so it worked out. Yeah, it was.
Come on.
And your dad was fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh, your father was amazing, and so to meet him, and I think he was like, if she can hang out with all these people,
yeah,
she can hang.
He didn't say a lot, did he? He said
enough.
He said enough. Yeah,
he didn't say a lot. He said enough.
But he talked to you a lot. Which
he did talk to me. Yes, he did.
I
he
thought
talked
that
to me
was
a lot.
Interesting. I noticed that
He
talked
did.
to you a lot.
He bought me a watermelon.
Did he say
your dad bought me a watermelon.
Of my mouthpiece.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yes,
that.
and your father bought me a watermelon. And and that was all it needed to be. Yes, cliche, totally black girl, all that.
Arkansas.
Definitely Arkansas. Watermelon, it was great. And then your father sat at the kitchen table and ate this watermelon like we were out somewhere. I mean,
that's awesome.
Fast friends from there. But he asked, he appreciated me. He thanked me for loving his son and being involved with all of you all, and that I would always take care of him, which I hope I've lived up to my promise. And yeah, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing to be a part of this family. Y'all are a lot.
It's a lot. So that's why I try to tell even my nieces, because they like it the way it was when we were younger.
Yeah, they don't get it.
They don't get
how hard it could be.
It could be a challenge. Yeah. And so for me, I want to say with Robert, this woman, your husband, didn't understand why he hadn't met him. I said, I want it to happen organically. Everything has to happen organically. He was like, I don't understand this. I don't understand, because usually I know it's a lot.
It's a lot.
I think it takes wisdom to understand that after
y'all
a while.
Are special.
So for Robert, I saved him.
Yeah, you did.
I did, because I did.
And even by the time you met Robert, Robert was a real grown man, and we were much more adult by the time you got married than we were when Rodney and I got married.
Yes, and that was a blessing.
Yeah, that was a blessing for him.
That was definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thankful. And so I even recognized he met, I think, my oldest 2 sisters at breakfast on a drive-through. It was Tracy.
Oh, and Tracy?
You know what they had.
Oh, yeah. I already know. Say no more.
He got a brother.
I know.
He got somebody else.
And all he got is 2 all he got is sisters.
Yeah, he just got sisters.
All he got is 2 sisters.
So that's all they were concerned with, asking him about that. And so the tell-all was when we went to Memphis, and your husband, how you going to take him to meet Angel and he haven't met your brother?
That's right.
I was like, organically. Yeah, organically. And then Ramari met him, and Rael was down, and Rodney was having a meeting. We went out to lunch, and Ramari and Rael said, Aunt Tuda is a cougar, because he young. He young. He look way young. She look way older than him. I said, he's older than me. So that's family dynamics. They are a miniature of what you would get.
Yes, they are.
It was just them to put Rael and Ramari together.
Oh, that had to be a very special. Poor Robert, you survived.
And he was laughing. He remembers that to this day.
Well, I not only just for the in or the spouse, so like Robert or I or Charlie or Christy or any other spouse, Nikki, Adam, I mean, any other spouses that come into this family. But they don't realize that your family then has to be a part of it too. So like my parents, and like your mom and siblings, Robert. I mean, like how much, like we all a package deal. We roll deep. We loud. We gonna get put out the restaurant.
Gonna dance.
We gonna dance. We gonna
Drinks.
sing. We gonna drink. We can do it all, but we're gonna have a good time. We love the Lord and we love each other. So that's all that matters.
And that's a blessing.
Yeah,
that's a blessing. So that's family dynamic.
Definitely.
And she has been here for over 20 years.
Over 20 years. I survived. Thank you,
And
Jesus.
she survived. She knew she knows the secret. So if anybody want to know the secret, talk to Mimi.
Drink often and call me for the play. Don't just set that one out. That ain't about you. Let them have that. You ain't gonna understand that. Just we're gonna stay in our lane. It's our lane over here. We the in-law. No, I'm teasing.
Yeah,
but we're family.
She has definitely been able to maneuver through this journey, this Watkins maze.
Definitely.
Of siblings.
But we don't really do siblings. You're not my sister-in-law. You're my sister.
And I tell people that all the time. I tell people, she came down one time and went to my Sunday school class, and I introduced her as my sister-in-law. She said, I'm her sister.
Exactly.
And so from that point on, that's my sister.
That's my sister.
Definitely. So we say sister. We don't say sister-in-law.
We don't say that.
So let's wrap it up before my husband cuts us off. Right. And so he's looking at me and I'm keeping looking straight. Okay. So let's wrap it up and tell us again, give the 2 websites for the foundation.
Okay. So aimhighacademy.org, flipping combined with faith equals bright future, aimhighacademy.org, as well as TS3 Foundation, which is a TS3 stands for sickle cell trait 3 for Trey Schultz 3 Foundation is a part of that. And we just thank you all. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your podcast. This is so cool. And hopefully I won't be a stranger. I can't wait to hear this one.
So I'll mention this to your husband. I want to hear something from you guys.
Okay, sure.
Eventually.
Okay.
Eventually, I'm going to keep pushing.
We'll let the Lord lead.
That's what he said. So y'all been around each other a long time now. He said the exact same words. So we're going to keep pushing. We'll have you guys back again.
We'll be back.
I want to have you back and we'll talk about taxes. And then later on, I want to talk about generational wealth.
We got you.
Importance of that.
We got you.
Because me and my husband just purchased some land.
Yes, y'all did. The plot.
Yeah, the land. And
the
so
land.
I think
the
it's
promised
important.
Land,
I think when I was younger, my dad always talked about purchasing land.
Yeah.
But it's a good feeling, but I think it's important for us to understand that as we get older too, and to educate our kids.
Yeah, legacy.
And build up our legacy, definitely.
Build up a legacy.
So thank you, my sister.
Thank you, my sister.
Love you. Thank you for taking time out of this fabulous weekend to come and visit with me.
Absolutely.
And we enjoyed it. We wish we could have danced a little bit more, right, Robert?
Yeah, the teenage turn up, y'all kind of got put out.
Yes.
I was there.
So thank you again. Life is good with Tuda. See you guys later. Bye.
Thanks.